Okay, before we go on to the next step, kind of made a little mess here of the distal contact. So what I'll do is I'll hit C to circle select. Just kind of select the vertices in this area. Right click to get out of it. And we'll come in here in Mesh Tools, go into the hood a little bit, and hit Smooth Vertex a couple times. Normally that you won't have to do that, and that's kind of, I guess, an advanced feature. But you see it just kind of evens everything out there. Okay, so we'll come back to our design properties, select all the dynamic properties that we want, and apply dynamic properties. So now over here in this little wrench toolbar, if we hit this right arrow, now we can see all the full detail that we've actually been adjusting in the hard mesh. So that mesh is kind of a substructure for this much finer, nicer mesh that we have out here. So now that we have this, we can go into sculpt mode, and sculpt mode is where you can both save and waste the most time. And I highly recommend that you practice on some things before trying, if you were to ever try and make something that actually mattered. But the figuring out what strength and what radius and also how zoomed in you need to be can be a little difficult at first, and things can kind of get out of hand. But the ones we'll be using the most are inflate, flatten, smooth, and draw. First thing I'll do is I'll hit smooth, and I see this little spot here, and what that actually is our dynamic occlusion pushing that cusp tip down, and just smooth that out a bit. There, that's gone. There's our contact that we've made, and it's a little high, so I'll switch to inflate, and make sure inflate and not deflate. And I'll kind of bring down the strength, bring down the radius, zoom in, and add a little here. I'll switch back to smooth and kind of smooth it down from the top. And it's probably hard for you to see, but what I've done there is kind of move the contact down just a little bit. Let's say we know this is a first molar and we're not kind of satisfied with the template anatomy. Go to draw, make the radius pretty big, strength fairly strong. And that was a little bit too much. We'll kind of add a cusp of Carabelli. Now we'll hit subtract, make the radius small. Look at it from above, and this always adds or subtracts kind of in the direction that you're looking. Accentuate that groove. Still a bit dramatic, but you get the idea. If you played with it a little bit, you could figure out. Go back into object mode, kind of look around. Yeah, that's a ridiculous cusp of Carabelli, but for time's sake, we'll just keep going. And now that you're in object mode, and I think that this is true for both the calculate inside and manufacture crown, but you need to be in object mode. I'll fix that. That's another one of the little bugs. But we'll go to calculate inside. And what this is doing is it collapses the tooth mesh down onto the prep, spreads it out, projects it up onto a plane, and then drops it back down. And you see you get this projection plane up here that we can hide. So there is our intaglion with all the any undercuts blocked out. You can see there's a little bit here. If you're not satisfied with this kind of choppy, not very smooth margin, you can subdivide one more time, and that adds a little more detail. But the more detail you add, the more it's going to tax your computer. And when you consider what the accuracy of any mill that's going to be making this, I really don't see much point in it. But now that's made, you can kind of look at it from the bottom. Control 7, there we go. And you can see anywhere that it's kind of speckled like this is where it's intersecting, and then where it's smooth around the edge is where it's going to be tightly sealed. But that's all you need to do. Hit manufacture crown. That'll take a few seconds. And there you have it. You can go back, adjust your restoration, adjust your margins, and the solid crown won't get adjusted, but you can remake it. So if you get to this point, don't like what you see something glaring like that, and you go adjust it, you can, and then hit remake. And that's it. If we hit the slash key to go into local view, you can look and see the inside, and I'm pretty satisfied.